So the Senate back in session today, but it is still unclear if there's going to be a vote to end the government shutdown, which is now 34 days old. Joining us now with the latest is Jake Sherman, Punchbowl News co-founder, also is NBC News and MSNBC political contributor. We're all trying to make sense of this, Jake. A lot of folks betting that, given the election tomorrow, that maybe things loosen up after that. Does that have any credence in your mind?
Not really. To be honest with you, I've heard this. I've had people come to me over the last couple of days telling me 70, 80% chance the shutdown ends this week. It could end this week, Andrew. I mean, I don't know that it won't end this week, but here is what you have to assume if you think it's going to end: that Democrats will finally cave on their basic demand that President Trump negotiate a health care deal during the shutdown. That is not a sure thing to me. And I think Democrats winning in Virginia, New Jersey, which I think is not certain, but the most likely scenario, is not going to make him change on that. Now, there's a lot of talks about spending in the Senate. They are talking about different spending deals into 2026, but that does not in any way change the basic crux of this shutdown, which is not about spending. It's about health care. President Trump was on 60 Minutes last night saying the same thing. He said they have to open up the government and then we could talk about health care. I haven't seen the dynamics shift appreciably. Listen, this has to end at some point. The pain is getting to be more and more punitive, and so I think it has to end at some point. But I just don't think it's going to be. It's a sure thing that it's going to end this week.
Does the judge's decision on Friday around the SNAP program, which is to say the Trump administration was intending to end the SNAP program and not make those payments, the judge saying that's not allowed, you got to make the payments. Does that shift the balance at all in the favor of the Democrats?
It probably shifts the balance a little bit, Andrew. It's not. I mean, the president says he is willing to pay out these SNAP benefits if he's told how to do it. If the judge gives him a structure and tells him where to pull the money from, essentially, and how to do this, I don't know how that changes anything. I honestly don't know. We'll have to see how Democrats feel when they come up this week. But the pain, so there's the pain on SNAP. And then we're going to get into the Thanksgiving travel season, Andrew, in which air traffic controllers, we already see delays across the country at big hubs. If you want to see pain in addition to the pain of people not getting the food stamps that they need and the nutrition assistance that they need, you're going to see a whole different level and another level of pain when it comes to traveling. That, more people are going to be flying around the Thanksgiving holiday season. So I think that's going to be another dynamic here. But let me just make one thing clear. I mean, we've now had 13 votes in the Senate in which Democrats have blocked the government from reopening. They have painted themselves in a corner. So it's not going to be Chuck Schumer that decides this. It's going to be rank and file Democrats who need to make a decision about how long they want to keep this shut for.
Jake, where you live in New York?
I live in Washington, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Washington. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you know more about Virginia probably with I don't know what happens down there. I hope spring's eternal. But up here in New Jersey, I live in New Jersey. This has been the dirtiest campaign I've ever seen in terms of advertising. Mikey Sherrill has a Chettarelli ad saying a 10% sales tax on everything. And then they go and they talk about, they say food, this, that, and he was talking, and they say Chettarelli has talked about this because he was talking about Tennessee, where there's a 10%. So he was mentioning what goes on in Tennessee. They have inundated the airways with what is a complete distortion and lie. I guess that's just par for the course. That's
par for the course for both parties. And I think, listen, Joe, it's a closer race in New Jersey, which is, I guess, where you live, has shifted appreciably over the last 6 or 8 years.
Intel, Jake, explain. I've seen it 0.6 of a point. Are they? My son tells me. That's what he says.
I think it's an outlier based on other polls, Joe. But I mean, I have become extraordinarily bearish on all public and private polling over the last
How about
decade.
Kalshi and Polymarket? Are those, because they're still, I think they're like 85% or 80% Mikey Sherrill too, so that's not good.
But this is just, and I think they're great. I think Kalshi and Polymarket are great, but you're just taking what people think. You're not, these aren't how people are going to vote
Not like
in
the
New
stock,
Jersey.
Yeah, not like the stock market discounting.
Yeah, this is a bet.
Well, we'll know.
So I don't think it's...
And also the shutdown, and you know what else? If it wasn't Trump in the White House, I think it'd be easier for Cettarelli. And although he's embraced Trump, but in New Jersey, it's like that's almost toxic because it's so blue.
But it's actually, I'll be honest with you, Joe, two thoughts here. It's not as blue as it used to be.
No.
I mean, if you look at some of the swing districts in New Jersey, Josh Gottheimer's district in northern Jersey, I mean, the shift between Biden 2020 and 2024 was remarkable in northern Jersey. So yes, there are blue areas, but even the Patterson anchored district in the House, which was a strong Democratic district for 30 years, went for Trump, I believe, in 2024. One other thought: the Gateway Tunnel did not help. It didn't help. I mean, when you're cutting off an important project, even though it won't be cut off forever, it gave Sherrill a talking point.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Hey, Jake, before you go, I'm actually curious what you think of the. I'm curious what you think of the prediction markets right now. I got a whole bunch of emails actually, just in the beginning of the show, from some people who are actively participating in those markets. I think actually in very big ways, actually. And I'm curious, you know, Joe's mentioning he thinks they're being manipulated. I don't know if he was saying that facetiously or not, but we've had people like Bill Ackman say that pretty. You know, he came out just last week and said he thinks they're being manipulated. I think it's probably very hard to manipulate at this kind of volume, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think they're really interesting when measuring public sentiment. Whether they're predictive or not, I think I don't know the answer to that, because having people just say when they think the government's going to reopen, like on an issue like the shutdown, it's an incredibly difficult thing to predict based on people's moods, incentive structures of 535 members of Congress that you might not fully understand when you're making these predictions, that I don't fully understand, and I'm in the Capitol every single day, or I don't always have a great grip on, or not as much of a grip as I'd like. I think they're really interesting in capturing public sentiment, and whether they're being manipulated or not, I don't know, but I watch them with interest. Let's put it that way.